You are now listening to the Checkmate Arcade Podcast, episode 234, recorded on November 9th, 2017, brought to you by Frigid Blast Studios. Welcome to the Checkmate Arcade Podcast, your home for a quarter marching fun. And I've got my space magic back and I'm ready to rock. My name is Stephen Boss, the darkbossman.
And it's a sad, sad time for the entertainment center as changes had to be made. And sadly, my HD DVD player is no longer hooked up. I'm MSU Hitman Jason Billingsley.
I'm sure Microsoft would send its condolences.
I still have it. Don't get me wrong. I have way too many.
Just put it in storage.
Yeah, changes have come to the television section of my apartment in more ways than one, and required not still the same entertainment center cabinet, but changes were made to the contents and required some reorganization. So,
why do I get the feeling you bought something I don't know about?
Anyway, let's.
Okay. Want to keep it a secret, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine. I won't ask you to spoil the secret until later.
Okay, good.
All right. So, how you been? Because this is, it's been a while.
Yeah, it has definitely been a while. Various challenges have happened to try to get something done in the interim.
Yeah. Not the least of which me actually going back to work for a little over a month and a half.
Yeah. And then things kicking up at job number 2. As it does this time of year every year. So.
Yeah, but then also the fact that your main job picked up a little bit too.
Well, A
couple days there you were telling me, oh yeah, you were selling like vacuums like crazy.
Yeah, I have a pretty nice bonus check from October coming in next week. So
nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
All right. That's good then. So other than that, you've been good though?
Yeah. Other than that, it's been fine. Yeah.
Good to hear. Yeah, me, not much other than the working for a month and a half. It was a seasonal position, so I knew it would end, but.
And then we had an hour delay today because PAX East badges just went on sale.
Yeah. So thankfully I was able to get in the queue. Unfortunately it took 15 minutes before I even got the chance to buy.
Yeah, I got in on the first wave.
Yeah.
Because they made a specific PAX tickets Twitter account, and you could set notifications to, and I'm sitting down for the, for the show, and I see that notification on my phone. I was like, oh crap, this is early. Because they just put a tweet out Monday to be like, hey, stop F5ing, relax, da-da-da-da-da. And then here we go Thursday. It's normally the following week. It's normally the week before Thanksgiving, but.
That depends on exactly how many days it is until PAX East. Until each of the PAXs, actually. So it's about the same amount as last year. But since they were a little earlier last year with their convention, it's about the same amount of time in between.
Not really, because the tickets went on sale a week earlier and the convention's 2 weeks later.
I could have sworn they went on sale like mid-October last year.
No. It was the week before Thanksgiving.
You sure?
Yes.
Because I was working when they went on sale that year. I swear to you, I was in the middle of working when Scott sent me a text and I was like, "Yo, PAX East tickets are on sale." I was like, "Oh, well, I guess I'm stopping working for a few minutes."
2016. Oh gosh, darn it! No, I just need PAX. I guess. Go back. Looking. Oh gosh, darn it! I'm gonna have to find that. Okay, read.
All right, well, anyway, we both got
Read
our
pop.
tickets.
Yeah. Yes.
So we're all set. Now we just got to make plans for what hotel we're using.
Yeah. We'll have to figure that out. We don't really have time today for that.
Yeah, no, we can do it over the weekend.
Yeah.
We have a few months.
Yeah, although we don't want to wait.
We won't be waiting as long this year to get our hotel reservation though.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Okay, I'm totally wrong. You are correct. October 20th. I must be thinking of. Well, I didn't go in 2015.
Maybe
I went in 14.
Yeah, maybe you're thinking of 2014.
Yeah, my bad.
That's all right.
You are.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. In the hood.
Okay, I'm thinking. Okay, so PAX East 2016. I'm thinking of 2016 because November 18th, 2015 was when we purchased tickets for East 16. Okay. We're both right.
Oh, so
just about different years.
You didn't actually order them until then.
No, I'm talking about 15.
Oh.
Or 16. You are correct about PAX East. No. Oh, okay. You were correct about East 17. They went on sale mid to late October.
So 16.
16, I was correct. They went on sale the week before Thanksgiving.
Wait. Okay. So you consider these PAX 2018 tickets?
Well, that's what this is. It's PAX East 2018.
Okay. All right. Now I'm on board with what you're talking about.
Yes.
I was so confused.
You were correct about 17, and I was misremembering, and I was remembering 16.
You confused me so bad with the fact that you were calling them the year that the PAX actually happened rather than when the tickets went on sale. I was so confused. All right. Anyway, we got our tickets. It's all good.
Yeah.
So I heard from a little birdie that you were playing a bunch of Magic.
I have recently, yes. Within the last, are we now playing, or am I just going to talk about Magic for 5 minutes or so here?
It's just talking about Magic.
Okay, so the fall set, which has the longest tail of all the standard Magic the Gathering sets, came out the end of September. It is Ixalan, the new realm that has some mysterious secrets behind it. As the Gatewatch lies scattered after their defeat at Hour of Devastation.
Okay.
And this is the first set since Battle for Zendikar that really doesn't feature the Gatewatch as a group at all, but Jace is still there, of course.
Of course. How could he not be?
Although Jace has lost his memory.
Oh dear.
Again, I didn't play back when he lost his memory the first time.
Oh, that's right. I always forget that that's a rolling theme with him, isn't it?
Yeah. So, I won't. You can go on Wizards Facebook or their webpage and read the rest of the story if you're interested. I won't spoil everything, but the other unique thing about this set is for the first time in a long time, the set is heavily tribal themed.
Okay.
You have in the colors of blue and green, merfolk.
All right, sure, it makes sense.
You have in the colors of white and black, vampires.
Odd, but okay.
Well, they're like religious cultists and stuff. There's a lot of religious stuff with them. They look like Spanish conquistadors, if you want to imagine the art direction for them.
Huh. All right.
And then in the colors primarily red and black, although there's a couple of them that dip into blue, you have pirates.
All right, sure.
There's yeah. So I mean, so that is an official like tribe now in Magic is pirates.
Well, yar.
And rounding out the second new tribe from Ixalan and actually causing some older cards to get eroded, you have dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah, there we go. That's the stuff.
So in terms of limited draft sealed play, while normally you're looking at what color combinations work best, in this format, you really need to try to be tribe synergistic.
Yeah.
Because the tribes are certain colors. Like, for example, green-black is a long, traditionally that's a color pairing that normally does well in most draft formats. You will not do well in this draft format if you're green-black solidly. There is a super duper card that is green-black, which means you need to splash for it. But if you're primarily green-black, that's not good because you'll be split among any number of different tribes.
Yeah.
And you'll lose out on their synergies.
You know what this kind of reminds me more of?
What?
Teams and versus.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, definitely so. And since and Magic doesn't really have that. Magic is normally color pairings. Even when you have the clans of
even when there were cards that referenced what type of creature it was.
Right.
This is a little bit more in the direction of straight up teaming.
Yeah. Yeah, instead of the clans of Tarkir or even the guilds of Ravnica. And then even when you get into cause somebody brought up the last night when I was at a draft, when I was discussing this, we were talking about Shadows over Innistrad. Shadows over Innistrad, whatever colors you were kind of like, if you were red-green, you're primarily going to be werewolves because that's the red and green creatures are just primarily werewolves.
All right.
And you were still looking at color pairings.
Yeah.
More than tribal. And there were very few, like werewolves were the only ones that had werewolf specific cards.
Yeah.
But this format, if you want to do well at all, you need to try to stick to one of those 4 tribes as best you can. And you need to be looking at the payoff cards, especially at common and uncommon for those tribes. Or not common, uncommon and rare in those tribes. And you also need to be wary not to miss because there's some very dominant commons. Like for example, there's a white dinosaur that is 2 and a white. It's a 2/3. Whenever it attacks, you tap an opposing creature. That card is
That's powerful.
That's arguably the best common in the entire set. So even if you're black-white vampires, if you see that dino, you grab him because not only is it in one of your 2 primary colors, it's super powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
So it makes for some swingy pools when it comes to limited. So I have done, and yes, I know I primarily play red a lot,
Yeah.
but so
I
I've
dabble into black because of vampires as well.
Yeah, or green. I mean, it just depends on, the format and what's open and whatnot. But let's see here. I've done 2 pre-releases, 2 sealed PPTQs, and like a few drafts. And in all but 2 of the drafts, I have been either Naya, which is red, green, white, or just red, green dinosaurs. And a lot of this is just, that's what I've pulled.
Yeah.
That's been a lot of the sealed events. So I went, so there was a PPTQ a couple Sundays back. I went 2 and 3. There weren't many people there. There was only 17 people there. In round 5, I was in a win and I didn't win the last round. So I didn't get into the top 8.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
Last Friday, I had lost my first match and won the next 3. And was still, because there were more players at this one, was still in a winning in because my tiebreakers were the absolute worst among the people with 9 match points. I was in 10th place going into round 5, so I had to play no matter what. I was playing a 7-point person. So I could not draw, the 2 people above me would just get in. Their tiebreakers were better. So I had to play.
Yeah.
And I won, and the 2 people above me, because I won, had to play, and one of them won. So I was the 2nd seed going into the top 8 draft, where I drafted black, red, splashing white, and lost to blue, green merfolk in the first round. So my 3rd top 8 of a PPTQ in the last 18 months, all in sealed, and lose in the first round of draft each time.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Yeah. So, don't have a legal standard deck, because I'm just waiting for some money to come in because, standard's going to be a little bit of an investment because I didn't get the red cards before they jumped in price this summer. And because that deck still did well at the Pro Tour last weekend, they're still pricey.
Ouch.
And even if I want to go to the red, blue, green energy deck, that would require me getting a couple other cards that are now the Scarab God is now a $50 card. So, and I'd already sold my 1 copy I had of it. So yeah, that's. I would be in almost the same shape having to buy a few cards versus having to buy, a handful of others. I'd be about the same price either way.
Yeah. Well, that's how it goes sometimes.
I don't get to play much in the fall anyway. Like I've had to arrange my schedule.
It's pretty busy.
Yeah, I've had to arrange my schedule specifically to do these 2 Sunday sealed PPTQs. So I won't get to play much, until we get past the Christmas season here.
Yeah. Alrighty. But you've been having some fun, though.
Yeah. I also have to try to find a team because the first Grand Prix of the year in Magic is the only one in the Midwest this year. It's team limited in Indianapolis.
Oh. Huh.
It's mid-January.
Okay.
So I
didn't know they did teams for the Grand Prix.
It varies. It just depends on format. Most Grand Prix are individual, but every now and then they have a team one. They're actually doing more team ones this year than they did last year.
Huh.
Because they're going to have a team. There's actually going to be a team Pro Tour, I think, or something like that next year.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's surprising.
Yeah, because it's for the Magic 25th anniversary whatever set, because it's a team Pro Tour, because it's standard, modern, and legacy. Like one player plays each format at the same time. Like, You have a team of 3. Each one is playing a deck of one of those formats. You're playing another team of 3, and whoever wins 2 out of the 3 matches, regardless of format, wins the match.
That's actually interesting.
Yeah. That's also the Pro Tour where they're upping first prize to $100K.
Oh.
From $40K.
Well, I mean, I guess that would make sense because you have to split it with the team.
Yeah, it's all tied. All this is being tied. Magic turns 25 next year. So this is all tying in with that.
Yeah. Okay. So it sounds like you had a bunch of fun.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I've had some fun playing the format.
I'll bet you also had some fun playing some video games.
Yes, I did.
I got that transition mojo back. Alright, let's get... Yeah, I know. The fact that I'm pointing it out makes it so much less of a good transition.
Yes.
Anyway, how about we get into our now playing? Alrighty, what have you been playing?
Alright, we'll start on the Sony side of things because I have a bunch of new games, but nothing's changed on the Sony side in terms of like hardware.
Yeah.
I did start up Saturday Morning RPG a couple weeks back on the Vita. It is a cross buy game on a PS4 and Vita. I believe it is on Xbox One as well by now. I'm not 100% for sure on that.
Yeah, I'd have to look.
This is made kind of similar to how CD Projekt runs Good Old Games. The developer of this game are the people that run Limited Run Games.
Okay.
That is the group that does limited physical print runs of, until that point, digital-only releases. They've been
getting pretty popular lately.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest profile one happened a couple months back with the physical release of Night Trap.
Yeah.
On PS4, but they've had several different ones. They had primarily been Sony only, PS4 and Vita, although they have announced that they are starting to do Switch. They're going to start doing Switch releases.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they would probably want to get in on the ground floor of that one.
Well, I mean, it's just something where Nintendo, like Microsoft, would never allow a short enough print run because, they generally only make about 10,000 or less copies of a game. Like, you have to be at your computer when it goes on sale and logged in, or you just don't get them.
Yeah. Well, sometimes they have second runs of their limited runs.
Yeah, but some of the biggest ones, I mean, they probably won't have Night Trap.
No, I think they did have Night Trap. That was one of the ones where I was hearing that actual fact that they had 2 runs. I think they did a morning run and a night run.
Well, that's still the same print run. They just
they broke up the orders.
They try to ease some of the pressure because people are trying to order it from different, areas of the globe.
Yeah.
They divide the allotment to essentially 2/3 are available at 9 a.m. Central, and then the other third of the allotment is available at 6 p.m. Central or something like that.
Yeah.
That's not different print runs. That's just them dividing out the allotment.
Yeah, I went with the wrong words.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're getting more popular though.
Yeah. So this is a game. It is a turn-based JRPG style game, which all the characters in it are loosely based on Saturday morning cartoons.
Okay. Sounds interesting.
You're not going to have actual, it doesn't have the licenses for G.I. Joe or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, but you have teams of army people and...
Right. It's basically as close as they can get without stepping on the rights.
Right. And the menu screen is like a big trapper keeper, and et cetera, et cetera. And then like your pre-battle power-ups. So I don't know exactly how this works on console. It might, because of the touchpad, work the same on PS4, but on Vita, as a battle starts, you have up to 5 different stickers that give you a bonus. But to get the bonus, you have to scratch the sticker on, that's showing on screen until, if for those of you that don't remember, there used to be these scratch and sniff stickers that you would scratch them and then a scent would come out. So they have taken that and made it a mechanic of the game. And the more powerful the effect, the longer you have to scratch the sticker. And you'll collect various ones, and they all have different effects. And outside of combat, you can set up which 5 you want to show up to, to try to get those specific bonuses. And you'll probably want to change them by area, and you'll get more powerful ones, etc.
God, it's been a long time since anybody mentioned scratch and sniff stickers.
Yeah, I mean, this game is essentially a non-rights infringing love letter to the 90s, and it's a fun game. I mean, I only played a couple hours of it, so it's something.
So it's not a retrocity.
No, it's not a retrocity. It's a fun little game and something to consider if you see it on sale or something.
I know many people won't understand what that word is. It's a retro atrocity.
Yeah, I got it. It is not that. It is a fun homage.
Yeah. I like using that word.
Yeah.
Of the words that have been invented recently for games, that's one of the ones I like. As opposed to some of them. You know which ones you are.
All right, so moving on to the PS4.
All right.
It's been a while because a couple other major releases came out, but I played a decent amount of Ys 8, Lacrimosa of Dana. That came out back in September.
So that's the 8th game, all right.
Yes, it's the 8th Ys game, yes.
I can't believe they're up to 8. Are they up to 9 now?
No, this is brand. Okay. Yes, this is a brand new game. This is not like the previous release, which was a remake of 4. This is a brand new game.
All right. So,
but
what's new?
Basically, it is Ys 7 on a console. It's been a long time. It's been since PS2 since an Ys game has been on console. And with the changes they've made with Ys 7 and Ys 3 and the remake of Ys 4, it's the first time those changes are playable on a console. So it is a hack and slash action adventure JRPG with beautiful graphics and an amazing soundtrack once again available on a console. I mean, it's also available on Vita if you want to get the Vita version. It is not cross-buy though. There's no cross-buy and there's not even cross-save, unfortunately. It is, you have to pick which side you're on. If you want the portability or if you want the console experience. And there is some slight gameplay changes too, because there are 3 different endings which are determined by how many side quests you complete. And the amount of side quests available on the Vita version is less than what's on the PS4 version.
That's odd, but sure.
I'm assuming space reasons. That's the only thing I can think of.
Probably. I mean, do you still get the chance to have the same endings?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's just, it'll be like, you need this rating. I forget exactly what it is, but it's like, you need to be at 150 of whatever this is or above on Vita, and then it's like $250 or something on PS4. I was, I had a walkthrough, because this is a smaller release, so there's no actual guide.
So basically, they swiped the Galactic Readiness from Mass Effect 3?
No, it's not. Well, I don't know. I haven't gotten to that point yet. I've played it a few hours. I'm still trying to find...
the idea of, hey, you got to do this much extra stuff to be ready.
I don't know if the game, says it like that. The guide said it like that.
Oh,
it was so I don't know if the game has... that specifically, or it may word it differently, but the guide was like, you need to be at this point on Vita or this point on PS4 to get the best ending.
All right.
Because I was looking at a guide a couple months back, last month, or when I was playing it, and then I kind of sneaked through, or I was just, I was looking at something and it talked about the ending to be like, okay, you need to be at this and this and. So the basic story of this takes place, it is either between 4 and 5 or 5 and 6. Even though this is the 8th game, it is not the end of the timeline. 7 is the...
I always forget that this series goes just willy-wally. Goes all wonky with time physics. Or time, time placements.
Yeah, timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Adol is on a ship, and he's trying his luck as a sailor, to, work on the ship to get to where him and Dogi are trying to get to. And on their way, they get too close to this ancient, island that is notorious for, once you enter it, you never leave. And after an attack on the ship, you are marooned on that island. You must team up with fellow passengers that are fighting capable to rescue as many shipwreck survivors as possible and learn the secrets of the island so that you would be able to escape. Because mysterious forces prevent anyone from escaping the island. So you must find out what those are and how to overcome them.
So the series has the same protagonist the entire time?
Yes. The series, yes. Other than Ys Origin, which is the origin of the Ys universe, all 8 Ys games star Adol Christensen. And the games all start off with him as an older man reading through his published book about all his adventures.
Okay.
That is the setup for the setup for the Ys games. Like I said, outside of Origins, which is the origin of the entire world of Ys.
Right.
So it has different characters.
I wonder when they're going to actually start using a new main character.
They're not. That's just, this is his series, Okay, when is Nintendo going to, because this game came out right after the original version of the first game came out right after Zelda. So the same question would be, when is Zelda not going to have Link?
Well, each of the Zelda games has a different Link. That's the thing.
Yes.
It's not the same Link.
Okay. Well, this one is the same
there
one.
Is a loophole.
Okay. Well, the loophole for this is that all these different adventures happen in fairly close together. It is between 5 and 6. So 5 is still the one Ys game that has not been remade. It is not playable outside of its original Super Famicom release or Turbo Duo or whatever. It has never been published outside Japan.
Right. Okay. So I guess that's probably their next one.
Yeah, although I don't know how well 8 is doing. So,
the fact that they made the 8th one, I have a feeling they'll probably remake 5.
We'll see. I mean, I just don't know because they've had a console port of Origin digital console port / limited run games port of Origin come out on Sony this winter. And then the limited run games was actually a month ago. And then you had Ys 8 come out on PS4 and Vita. And I know GameStop wise, most stores did not get many copies of the game at all. I got the collector's edition direct from the publisher because NIS was the one that published this.
Yeah.
So I just know for a fact that is not readily available. I don't know if I know Target does not stock it. I don't know about Walmart or Best Buy. This is a very, limited, not Ys 8 is not a limited run game, but in the generic term of, it is a small print run game.
Yeah. All right.
But if you are wanting an action adventure JRPG, and they do some neat stuff like, so this is a deserted island, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of getting new weapons, there is no shops. There are no shops. Your enemies are not dropping gold and you're not going to a shop to buy stuff. The entire upgrade system and all your restorative items and everything, it's all based on crafting.
Because of course.
Yeah.
Because every game has to have crafting.
Well, I mean, it also thematically makes sense.
Yes, it thematically makes sense. I'm just saying there's a lot of games that decide, hey, let's have crafting.
Well, Ys 7 had it as well, but it was in you were in a kingdom that you weren't stranded on a deserted island. Well, you weren't stranded on a mysteriously deserted island. There were towns and stuff and castles and whatnot. So it made sense to have both. But this one, as you find more survivors, their specialties kind of unlock and you're able to craft bigger and better things. And this stuff, plays out in the first few hours of the game. There is also some base defense mechanics. The kind of area where you hole up as survivors from time to time, this will come under monster attack, and you have to take your party and repel the monster attacks.
Okay.
There is a nice fast travel system, so once you discover certain points, it's not like you have to run across the entire island to get back. You just have to get to a fast travel point.
Yeah. Okay.
And you can transport straight back to camp pretty much about any time outside of dungeons, and specific areas will be marked as dungeons where you will have to walk out and escape them before you can fast travel to other areas.
Right. So how's the combat system?
If you played Ys 7 or the remake of Ys 4, you're going to be pretty experienced with it. You've got 3 different characters. They can swap on the fly. They all have various weapons that have different types. So like Adel's standard sword will work great on flying enemies and not so great on armored enemies. There are certain characters with like whatever type of sword that's called, the Lancer uses. That one will be strong against certain enemies or weak against others. You have a dude that swings around an anchor, and he's good against certain enemy. So everybody has a weapon type, and monsters are strong or weak against the various weapon types. So you always want to try to keep a balanced party. You always have to have Adol, and then you have 2 others.
Okay. Is it a action style?
Yes, action. It's straight action. No, it's straight action running around the world. There's no loading screen to get into combat. You're just, you're running around this openish world.
Oh wait, so it's full 3D.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, full 3D. no loading times to get into combat. It is a full 3D running around hack and slash action adventure, like a Zelda, etc.
Okay.
And it also plays into some of the mechanics from Ys 4, because this is an undocumented island. And as you visit various areas, you will start filling in the map, and you get bonuses depending on how much of the map you fill out.
Okay.
And you will also run into points where there'll be a mudslide that's blocked your progress or something of that nature. And you have to wait until you have a certain amount of survivors. And then you have a parrot. The captain's parrot is kind of your messaging service. And if you come across one of these roadblocks and it says you have enough survivors rescued, you can call on all of them to come help you get rid of the roadblock. And it's a permanent thing. Like once you clear that blockage, it's gone forever.
Yeah. Okay. So sounds like a interesting game.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, if you'll be right at home if you played Ys 7 or the remake of Ys 4. Great JRPG. It is coming to Steam, much like the second half of the Ys revival. The first half being how much it went to Sony. The second half is, hey, let's get on PC as well. It is coming to Steam sometime soon, but they were concentrating on the back catalog first. Like Ys 7 just came out on Steam and GOG a couple months back.
Okay.
So I would say if you are interested in the game, be watching for someone like yourself that doesn't have access to Sony platforms. I would say watch for a sale on Ys 7. Because even brand new, they were selling that game at launch for $30. So that is going to get discounted quicker than Ys 8 is.
Yeah.
And if you're not sure about this game, I would play Ys 7 first on Steam or GOG. Because if you don't like Ys 7, you're not going to like 8.
All right.
Because much like Assassin's Creed 2, all the current Ys games are based off of 7.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Assassin's Creed Origins does seem to be mixing it up a little bit.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed is like the first Assassin's Creed that's, kind of changed the formula somewhat.
Yeah.
I've seen some gameplay of that. It's just weird to see all those numbers. It's like a
apparently they threw Destiny stuff in it. It's weird. Oh, man,
yeah,
it's
well,
weird.
yeah, I guess that / Borderlands. Yeah, it's just weird seeing all those numbers. It's just like,
weird. Hey, it seems like it's making it a better game, so maybe.
But if you're wanting to know, hey, what's the most overlooked quality game of the year, this one's probably going to be right up there.
Okay.
So if you have access to it, I highly recommend giving it a shot.
Alrighty.
All right. I guess I can move on to two other major releases in October that took me away from Ys.
Sure.
So Middle-earth: Shadow of War.
Alrighty.
Once some of the stuff came out about this game, I kind of downgraded my pre-order from the gold edition to the standard. And once it also became clear of what you have to go through to get the full ending of this game, I traded it in for something else that I'll talk about a little later.
So you didn't actually get to the credits roll ending at first?
No. Like, I put 20 hours into the game.
Uh-huh.
I think somewhere between 10 and 20 hours. I got through Act 1. Like, I took over the first of the 4 citadels, whatever they're called, that you have to take over, that the actual basis of the game is around.
Yeah.
I took over the first one, and given how much time I spent in the first area of Act 1, I could fairly easily take over the second one. But then I would have the other 2 areas where I've done nothing. And, well, I take that back. There was one area where I did a story mission that introduced you to that section. It's like this deep, dark forest area. But the other two citadels are, in these two worlds, and I haven't touched them at all. And there's a bunch of story stuff there. And so there was a lot of grind left to get to the point to where the infamous point of that game, to where the microtransactions that, to buy bigger, more powerful orcs, etc., kind of come up and slap you in the face.
Yeah, well, I mean, until that point, it seems like it was decently fun, though.
It was fun, yes, but the story is not super great again. And given how many other games I have that are of a similar type, or even not similar type, basically given what games I have to play, I would rather spend my time in something that's going to be more rewarding for my time than a huge, huge time sink that is going to be trying to edge me into buying more stuff.
Right.
Because Act 2, which I'm in, okay, you take over the first citadel. That's the end of Act 1. And then it's like, well, we need to take over these others. So there's 3 others. You'll, given how, depending on how much you spent in the first area that you're introduced to in Act 1, you may be almost ready to take that over if you put enough time into it, like I was. Then there's the 2 others, which tie, there's a bunch of story missions tied to those 2 areas as well. Once you take over all 4 fortresses, that's when Act 3 starts. Like, you'll get a sort of ending from what I understand, but then to get the true ending of the game, Act 3 starts. And Act 3 is, okay, you took over all those forts, now you have to defend them. And there's 8 stages to Act 4, to where you have to defend each fort a single time. So it's like, okay, this fort's under attack, repel the assault, and then rinse and repeat for all 4 forts. That only gets you halfway through the act.
Okay.
After that, you have to repel simultaneous attacks on 2 of the 4 forts. And obviously, you can only be at 1 at a time.
Yeah, no, that would limit it a little bit, yeah.
So you have to, hypothetically go to your weaker fort to defend that, and then hopefully do it quick enough to where you could fast travel to the other one, or go the opposite way, try to repel it at the stronger one first, and then go to the weaker one. But if you lose a fort during this, well, you have to go retake the fort, and then that starts everything all over again. So, defend each fort. That's stage 1 through 4. Stage 5 through 7 of Act 3 is defend 2 fort attacks simultaneously.
Okay.
Stage 8, the end of the game, where afterwards you'll get the true ending, is you have to defend all 4 forts simultaneously.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. So, I'm looking at that, and it's like, well, okay, because Brad Marino, or whatever his name is the giant bomb mod. He's the one that gave me the timeline of, well, this is what you have to do. He showed me what it was. He also runs the League of Heels website, so I've been following him on Twitter now. But anyway, so when I have stuff like Horizon Zero Dawn to finish, or Zelda to start, or Persona 5 to finish,
Wait a minute. Zelda?
Yes, I never started it on Wii U because, remember, it came out, I was putting time into Horizon, and then I was doing Horizon, and then Mass Effect came out, and I was like, I'm beating Mass Effect before Persona came out, and I beat Mass Effect right after Persona came out.
Oh,
So
wait.
Zelda.
Okay, so you mean starting it on Wii U?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Remember, I bought.
I thought I figured out your surprise. Never mind.
All right. So anyway, but yeah, and then stuff like, I don't know, Wolfenstein, the original Wolfenstein. Try to play that again, and hopefully it doesn't glitch out. I have two
Oh yeah, that's
Uncharteds
right.
to play.
That's right. I forgot you had that glitch on you really bad, didn't it?
Yeah,
That's right. That sucks.
where I lost the entire, where I lost my entire progress, and they never patched it.
Oh.
Like, that game is still on its launch day patch. Trust me, I go through on my PS4 and randomly try to patch everything.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hopefully you can avoid that glitch again.
I hope so, but I just have so much stuff to play, and all of it is more rewarding than Shadow of War is going to be. So I ended up trading Shadow of War in.
Maybe eventually they patch it a little bit, make it a little easier.
No, they're not.
They might, depending on the backlash.
Well, no, because it sold well, unlike Deus Ex, and Deus Ex didn't patch out the stuff where you could buy the level up packs and stuff. This was a publisher mandate that was just figure out how to get in and just put it in there, figure it out. You're putting this in there. So I would just say Shadow of War is a fun game. If you enjoyed the last one, you will enjoy this one. I would not play it if you have any sort of backlog, because the amount you have to trudge through in this game to get to the final ending, you're going to have to dedicate everything to this game. Because if you don't want to spend money on boxes to buy more powerful orcs, you're going to have to try to grind them out in the world. Track them down and fight them and dominate them, and it's hard to find the epic and legendary ones. Like, I found one, maybe two legendary orcs in the wild in my 15-20 hours that I played the game.
Yeah. It's just unfortunate, considering how fun it is to be overpowered as you are in that game.
Well, you don't start off that way.
Right.
They pull a Metroid and you're back to...
They pull the abilities.
Yes, the entire first act of the game is you relearning everything that you ended the last game with.
Yeah.
Like, by the time you get to the end of Act 1, you'll be where you were in terms of abilities at the end of the first game.
Yeah, but then you go even further, which is the more insane part.
Yeah.
So, that part, fun.
Yeah. Well, something that's 20 hours long that's more rewarding.
So speaking of RPG mechanics.
Yeah. Something you can spend 20 hours with and have a much better time with, South Park, The Fractured But Whole.
Ah, yes. The South Park superhero styled RPG, I guess, would be the right combo.
Yeah, now this game's great. This game's absolutely great. It is wonderful.
As I've heard.
And I have beat it. I've played through the entire game. I have all the quests done. I unlocked all but 9 trophies. And I just had a great time with that game, and kind of wondering what they're doing with they have 2 expansions coming out next year.
Well, little birdie told me, and when I say little birdie, I mean people on Twitter, because of some of the people I follow on Twitter mention these things. Yeah, there might be something coming with the Canada section. Maybe on DLC, maybe.
Well, if you want to get into, I was trying to dance.
That's all I'll say. I won't say anything else about it.
Yes, there's a very neat joke. I mean, you have to it's a puzzle to try to get to Canada in that game because someone's trying to block your way. But once you solve that puzzle and get to Canada, there is a very funny current political reference that stops you from getting into Canada. It is a highlight of that game, of which there are many.
Oh yeah.
So this game takes place essentially a day or two after the end of Stick of Truth, which if you buy the game currently, you will have a code for Stick of Truth in your case. Unless you're listening to this way in the future. I mean, all the first print run of game has a code for Stick of Truth.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Yeah. And even PS4, which is weird. So like, I'm assuming that the Xbox One, what comes in there is just a code for the 360 version.
Right.
But for the PS4, you're getting a PS4 code for Stick of Truth.
Huh.
It's just weird how that works.
I guess they made it work.
Yeah, I mean, they just made a port, they ported it to PS4, whereas I'm probably 90% sure the code in the Xbox One version is just a digital 360 code since it's backwards compatible.
Yeah, of course.
But they put in the work to port that game to PS4, which is just interesting.
Probably so they had parity.
I guess, versions. But look at like Fallout. Like Fallout 4 came with the Fallout 3 code only in the Xbox versions, not in the PlayStation.
Right. But that's a much, much larger game.
Okay, I'll counter again. Tekken 7 came with a Tekken 6 code in only the Xbox version.
Odd, but okay.
I'm just saying, it's interesting that they're the ones that are like, okay, we'll put the extra work in and make a port to PS4.
I mean, some companies just don't want to spend the money. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't ask me.
I don't know. It's just interesting.
Doesn't always make sense. I don't know.
Yeah. But storyline events cause the town of South Park to abandon the medieval-themed escapades of the first game and move to a superhero-based theme for the second game.
I believe it's mostly Cartman just wanting to have lots of money. I believe.
Well, I mean,
he wants to get a bunch of deals with Netflix. I know that.
Well, yeah. Okay. So I did not watch the string of South Park episodes where this originally played out, from several seasons ago. And this is a continuation of that. Yeah. So all the kids are different superheroes and have different superhero powers. They were originally one group that fractured into two separate groups.
A la Civil War.
Yes, and that plays out here in the game. There's also an overriding theme of what is going on in the town, and anything else would be kind of spoilery, so I won't get. But the infighting between Cartman's Coon and Friends, and
that's his superhero name, so
yes, and then I guess Timmy is the leader, but it's based at Token's house, so the Freedom Pals, led by Timmy and Mysterion, their group and Cartman's group, the fractures between those two groups play out over the course of the game and eventually also lead up to solving the mystery of what's happening in South Park. Time travel happens, all kinds of crazy stuff. It is such a great ride. I don't think there is quite the high of highs that the underpants gnomes section was in Stick of Truth. Okay. I don't know if anything reaches that height. kind of because they play around with some of that stuff with your backstory, which I won't. There are segments where Cartman makes you go through, to get your class, you have to go through your backstory.
Yeah.
And you have all these fake backstories that Cartman's concocting before you have your real backstory play out at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Anywho, so I don't know if anything reaches the height of the Undergnome Pants scene, but everything to me is a constant high. There's not really, to me, a section that dips. It's not like Shadow of War where you're just like, oh man.
Yeah, that third act. It's not quite like that.
Right. But the game is
consistent level of quality.
Yes. And that was not exact, this is a new developer. This is Ubisoft San Francisco. This is not Obsidian.
Yeah.
So it's a new developer. The engine is slightly different. Dan Reichert says Fire Emblem because he just sees a grid and says Fire Emblem.
Yeah. I don't think it's quite like that.
No, it's not. It's more like, to me, it's more like Lunar.
Okay.
It is, Lunar wasn't specifically grid based, but you would be a separate screen and you'd move your characters around and their attacks had varying lengths. The magic users could stay a little further back and the sword people have to get up close. So to me, it's like a grid based Lunar.
The thing that it reminded me a little bit of was kind of like turn-based strategy games. Because sometimes turn-based strategy games will have abilities that you can select that will do area damage.
Yeah.
So it'll affect like 2 squares in front of you, but then 3 squares wide or 3 squares backwards and stuff like that.
Yeah, all the attacks are based, exactly like that. They either are melee that affect just right in front of you, or they're area based where they'll be a lot of times there'll be certain spots where the attack will hit, or it'll be a V shape or an X shape or a column or a full row or whatever. Yeah. And you can see this, like, the game lets you, it's turn based, so it lets you try to plan out these attacks. But if you take too long, people will make snide comments about hurrying up and stuff. And it's really funny how they play with that mechanic. Like, people will be diddling on their phones while you're playing out the attack. And you can't always do this. There are certain bosses that have a meter, and when the meter fills, they do their special attack or whatever. And if you're not set up right, it's like instant death in some cases.
Yeah.
So, they vary up the combat.
Okay.
The boss fights, are a bit different. And they go some places. I mean, this is South Park.
Of course they do.
They go some places. I mean, if you are 100% anti South Park in terms of, they go too far and da. Well, I think you can appreciate the game mechanically, but it's not the game for you because the content will just make you rage.
Yeah.
But if you are fine with South Park, and you don't have to be super duper South Park fan, I've watched every episode. Like, the last time I watched South Park, even though they're all on Hulu, I watched the Black Friday stuff. And I think I watched a couple of the first episodes where they introduced PC Principle. And I haven't watched it in a couple of years. I didn't realize until halfway through the game that Mysterion was Kenny.
Okay.
Because I never watched the superhero arc, and, Mysterion talks. I mean, Kenny obviously talked, but he's wearing the big jacket and everything, and it's all muffle. And Kenny was the princess. Slight spoiler, Kenny's the princess in Stick of Truth, and he's still wearing the hood, so everything's muffle. But in this, he's, I mean, he's wearing a hood, but it's not covering his mouth, and he's talking. It's like halfway through the game, like, oh, Mysterion's Kenny. No wonder he's so anti-Cartman. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, no, I never watched the superhero season either.
Yeah, but there's so many references to various parts of South Park, and it is funny even if you haven't watched all those, episodes. I mean, look at like Dan Reichert. Like Dan Reichert flat out hated the superhero arc of South Park and loved the game.
Yeah.
So you do not have to know everything about that arc of South Park to enjoy the game.
And just for quick reference, Dan Reichert is from Giant Bomb.
Yes. Yes, he is from Giant Bomb, formerly of Game Informer. Has been at Giant Bomb for like 3-4 years now. He did Giant Bomb's review of Stick of Truth.
Yes. Just wanted to point it out for anyone who wouldn't know the name right off the top of their head. So
the game is a little bit longer in Stick of Truth. It's about twice as long, but the game never feels boring. It's not the Shadow of War where you're like, oh my gosh, how much of this game is left?
Yeah. They're not dragging it out.
Right. And you are able to do quests that you missed. After the game concludes.
Okay.
One of the funniest things, and this isn't a big spoiler, but one of the funniest parts of the game to me is they add in a bus stop to South Park. It's like in between like Cartman's house, your house, Butters, that row of houses where all the kids live.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're on the same street as the, as the school and everything. And, there's the big, there's the infamous South Park sign. When the intro happens and it ends and they're in front of the South Park sign. Right there is the bus stop of the DLC bus company.
Okay.
And that's apparently where the DLC is going to launch.
I mean, that's one way to do it. That makes it pretty easy.
And there's 2 jokes that play out there that are really funny. I won't say the actual jokes, but there are 2 different jokes that happen there with the people sitting there and just made me bust out laughing. Well, a lot of stuff in this game made me laugh, but like the 2 jokes they put in right there at that bus stop are just, they might be the funniest parts of the whole game.
Yeah. All right. So very enjoyable, very fun game.
It's it'll probably be one of my top 5, easily one of my top 10 games this year, probably top 5.
Okay.
Great game. Great.
Alrighty. So I guess
I have one more thing to finish up real quick on Sony. Okay. And then Sony's done for me. Right. There was a game that looked interesting that was on sale last week, and I played the demo of it. It's called Dex. It is a side-scrolling action platformer loosely based on Blade Runner.
Okay.
You play this female character named Dex, and for some reason the government that's in charge is out to kill you. And this game, you're trying to find out what's going on. And half the game is exploratory, side-scrolling action combat, and the other half of the game is kind of a shooter. When you hack into the cyber world, it essentially turns into a shooter, like a maze shooter.
Yeah, this sounds vaguely familiar. Like maybe I watched a video about it once.
Could very well have. I'm not for sure if it's on Xbox or not, but I know it's probably on Steam and PS4, and there is a demo of it. So, if you're looking for a cyberpunk themed game, because we're not getting one anytime soon with CD Projekt, go give it a look.
Alrighty.
All right. So that is Yeah, so
Okay.
that's all my Sony stuff.
All right. I guess we'll what do you want to cover quick? Some really quick and repeated, I guess, on my side.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do Fire Emblem Heroes for mobile.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, no, I thought I was kind of done. And then recently I just sort of started playing it more. They've actually been really generous with the orbs for summoning recently. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's
Because they cut off all the free ones and people started complaining. Like,
that must be part of it, at least. Because now it's basically every single day I'm getting at least 1 to 2, sometimes even 3 or 4 orbs. It's kind of nice. So I get the daily login bonus, and then I get another daily login bonus because they're doing like a special event. Like it's the winter event now. Before that was the Halloween event. And the Halloween event actually has some Halloween themed characters, and they're actually pretty cool looking characters, to be honest. I kind of enjoy some of those Halloween skins. It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's really not much new per se, other than they added a couple new chapters for the actual main story. They added a brand new mechanic called the Sacred Seal Forge. And Sacred Seals are seals that you can only have one copy of, but they do something that kind of augments a character in one way or another. So some of the seals are plus attack, and you can upgrade those. So right now I think I have like plus 1 attack, but you could go up to plus, I think you can upgrade it 3 times. So you can get at least plus 3 attack per character. And only one character can have that. And then there's like speed, resist, defense, the works. And then they have a couple of strange ones that are, if this character gets attacked by magic, then the next time they get attacked this turn by magic, it gets like reduced by 30% or something like that. It's really kind of interesting, but maybe not game breaking. But, it's something that they added in, so it's another little extra mechanic. But yeah, other than that, it's just been rolling through. I called it for the story. Knew exactly who that person was from day one. As soon as that person was introduced to Mr. Mysterious. I believe I think you might have met him, because I know you played through some of the story, but I'm not sure how much.
I got to like chapter 9 or something.
I think he was shown in that by that point. The mysterious guy whose name appears as question marks.
I don't know if he was revealed.
Oh, okay. Well, I called it. I knew who he was. 100% from day one. As soon as I saw him, I'm like, yeah, no, that's who it is. It 100% has to be. And yeah, as this latest chapter played out, I was right. So not exactly the most deep story, but it's probably not really much else to say other than that new mechanic has the new currency, sacred coins. Those are less common than the feathers and the summoning orbs. But they are earnable enough that I don't think someone would need to pay money for them, thankfully. So this game, apparently, Nintendo actually cares a little bit about whether people are going to be angry at them or not.
Yeah, I mean, this is Nintendo's most profitable mobile game. by far.
Well, I mean, because it's an actual game.
Well,
It's shallow, but it's still a game.
Super Mario Run is an actual game.
Right.
It's just nobody bought it after they played the first world for free. Or very few, 5% or whatever it was.
It's also far more shallow than even Fire Emblem Heroes. Because Fire Emblem Heroes at least has some tactics that you can implement.
It has limited tactics, yes. It's more about getting your favorite characters.
Right, but then it's also about, okay, well, my character is level 28. My opponent is level 27, but I have a small advantage because they're colorless and I'm a sword user.
Right. But I mean, they are trying to get their hooks into the people like Alexa Ray Correa, who spent hundreds of dollars trying to get Donald from Awakening. So,
God, I've had so many Donalds drop. Oh my God, I'm swimming in Donalds.
You should send that to her on Twitter. I would just love to see her reaction because, like, she literally spent hundreds of dollars to get him,
and he's not even that great of a character in this game, which is that's such a shame. He was such a good character in Awakening. They didn't give him any good stats or good abilities. He's just a spear user. But, so playing through that. That's really all I got for that one. I was able to nab a 5-star gold. I want to say her name was Sakura from the Halloween event.
Okay.
So, that would be my only 5-star from that Halloween event.
Like I said, I haven't played the game since spring, so I've missed all these events.
Yeah, well, I didn't like any of the Easter ones, and I didn't like any of those weird bridal ones, or any of the ones that were like the special operas, the performer ones, or anything like that. Just the Halloween ones because they actually looked fun. Those are the only ones I liked so far. Oh, and the Easter one. Oh, God. Oh, wait, no, I said Easter, didn't I? I think I'm going a little crazy, so maybe it's time for you to talk about another game.
All right, so now I'm going to get into the Xbox One. X gonna get you what?
Oh, yeah, I think you did mention to me once before that you got an Xbox One X.
Project Scorpio Edition. Yes, I did.
Ooh, gonna get stung by the Scorpio.
Yeah, I just decided, I don't know. I was like, well, I could probably pay. I only paid $100 out of pocket for this thing.
Okay.
And that was the $100 that I had to put down on the whenever Gamescom was, because I literally left work, went to GameStop, put my pre-order down. That was one of the last pre-orders for the Scorpio edition.
All right.
And I paid for it almost all with trade-in credit because I traded in my S, so that was $150. That gets me to $250. I used $75 in GameStop reward certificates, so that gets me to $325.
Mm-hmm.
I downgraded my Marvel vs. Capcom from the collector's edition to the deluxe edition because Project Triforce made such an awesome set of Infinity Easter eggs. I mean, stones.
Okay.
You did not see how horrible the Infinity Stones were? You did not see when you did not hear about this?
I don't think so.
Just look up Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite collector's edition or whatever. And literally the stones, what's supposed to be the stones in there, look like the damn colored Easter eggs you and I had as kids.
Wow.
No shine to them whatsoever. They look like they just took some Easter eggs.
So they didn't actually make stones.
No.
Okay.
And then some people had problems with their statues, and given my history with Triforce, I was just like, nope, I'm not dealing with that again. So that saved $100 downgrading.
Oh wait, so Triforce is the company that makes the statues.
Correct.
Okay.
They made the Dragon Age, the infamous Dragon Age Collector's Edition that I had to wait 2 years for a replacement on. Yes. The same Project Triforce.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're on the same page.
All right. So downgraded that. So that was another $100. And then traded my Elite controller that the grips broke apart. So that was another $50. And a couple other random trades. And I have an Xbox One X fully paid off.
I can't believe the Elite controller was falling apart.
There are numerous people in the IGN Podcast Unlocked Facebook group that had the same issue as me, as those special rubberized grips just rubbing themselves apart. And it was getting annoying while playing, so I just traded it in to GameStop towards my X.
Yeah.
And I'm just playing with the Project Scorpio branded controller that came with the system. If I ever do buy a new controller, I will do one of their custom ones on their custom website without the rubber grips. I already designed one.
Oh, no, I went through that and designed like a couple different ones, but I don't know if I would ever buy that one because they're more expensive than standard controller.
Well, right, but it's because you're doing all these different colors. I have a pink and black one.
Okay.
Because Bret Hart, Hitman, get it?
Yeah.
All right, so I have not played much on my X. The only game that I have played on my X is the one game I've consistently played a couple of times a week, and that's Madden Ultimate Team and Madden 18.
The NFL game, yes.
Yes. And boy, the enhancements, like the smoothness, I mean, there is a big difference playing Madden on an S versus an X. And I can also kind of tell this because when Thorbon advertised a New Egg sale, I got my primary Christmas present early.
Mm-hmm.
And I have gone from a 32-inch, 5-year-old 32-inch 720p that upconverts to 1080p LG TV.
Mm-hmm.
I now have a 43-inch Samsung 4K HDR TV.
I was going to ask eventually, I'm like, are you actually seeing a difference, or are you using a different TV?
I am using a different TV, but I've had the TV for almost a month, and I am noticing even a difference between that.
Okay.
Because I had played Madden on that TV with, I had played Madden on that TV with the S versus the X, and even then I have noticed the difference.
Well, I mean, because you're going from 720p to 4K, that's a huge leap.
Well, right, but I'm also, in terms of the smoothness and how, the load times and stuff like that, how much that's changed between an S and an X. I mean, on this newer
that thing
TV.
Better have better load times, considering the price.
Well, the developer has to make the patch, and those are coming out slowly but surely among various games. The crazy thing is there's even 360 and original Xbox games that are getting X exclusive improvements.
Okay.
Yeah, Fallout 3 and Oblivion are getting up to 4K on X.
That's probably because they just said, hey, let's have the PC assets. Yeah,
and then KOTOR 1 is getting up to 1080p on X. Black's going to get up there as well.
That's one of the odd ones out. That didn't quite make sense.
That one's always been looked at as one of the, early Xbox era, wow, look how beautiful, like the big shooters for Xbox to me were always kind of Halo, obviously, but Black was the other one. Even though Black was multi-platform, but
yeah, it's just that's the one oddity out of all of them.
It was the first game with destructive environments,
right,
on a console.
It looked good, especially at the time.
Yeah,
but just odd considering all the other games.
Yeah. All right. So I've yet to play this next game on X, which they say the patch is out for, but when I do the super secret way to check if I don't know if the X patch is actually out for this, but I played it pre-X. I played some Call of Duty World War II multiplayer with the ragtags on Sunday night.
Okay. Yeah, I played some Call of Duty World War II as well on my standard Xbox One S, because I ain't got those X hookups.
Well, did you do single player or multiplayer?
I did both. The only thing I haven't done is zombies, because zombies.
Yeah.
So what was the last mission that I finished? The one right. I think the last one I finished was the Battle of the Bulge.
Oh, that's near the halfway point to end of the game. Yes,
I'm definitely quite a few missions in.
Yeah, Giant Bomb's quick look showed the entire campaign because, they were using Jeff's save and he had beat the campaign for review. So,
right.
Like it's like the timeline of the war. So
yeah. So I mean, I must be getting close, but that was the last, I think, mission I finished. So I'm almost at the end of 1944.
Okay.
There's really not much to say about it. If you know anything about World War II, boy, does it follow the World War II playbook from start to finish for what a video game should be. Starts out at Normandy Beach, just like you'd think, because it is, of course, the level that displays, oh, this is what World War II looks like now on video games.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Hoth in Star Wars. Oh, this is what Hoth looks like now on Xbox Ones for Star Wars. So it's their extreme showcase stage for what the game can look like and how good it can look. And it does look pretty good. It does look very good. The story is very by the numbers. It's not bad, but it's not like wowing me like with twists and turns. It's fairly predictable in where it goes so far, and I haven't really been super surprised per se. It's just basically war is hell, and we gotta all survive this. That's pretty much the message in this game. So, it definitely feels basically like every other Call of Duty game. The weapons actually feel better than most of the older World War II games. Not 100% perfect because, they're not modern weaponry with good iron sights. But they're not bad in any way. They're actually usable for the most part. As for multiplayer, it just seems like it's missing something, because man, is it plain.
Yeah, I mean, in Team Deathmatch, it seems like you can't get out of your spawn without getting killed. The maps are way too compact. The only times I had any, us and the Ragtags had any fun at all was with Domination or kill confirmed. I mean, I do not like deathmatch in that at all. I really don't like the war mode. I mean, I see what they were trying to do, and I don't think it works right. The maps are terrible, and there's not that many of them, so you just constantly see the same ones. There's only 10 maps.
Well, I mean, that's sort of standard for most multiplayer shooters, at least from Activision.
Well, no, that's the lowest.
It's always about 10-ish maps.
No, it's always over 10.
You sure?
Yes.
All right. I'll believe you. Because I can't exactly recall the 100% numbers on some of the previous ones, but it seems close. But either way, it just seems really plain. Like some major things are missing. Like the fun factor.
Yes.
It doesn't have the same snappy fun that like Modern Warfare 4 or COD4, Modern Warfare, Modern Warfare 2. They had fun. There was fun there.
Okay, so so base amount of maps, speaking of Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, 16 in the base Modern Warfare 1.
Okay.
13 in World at War.
Okay, now we're getting closer.
16 in Modern Warfare 2.
Right. Okay.
12 in Black Ops.
Yeah, it's getting much closer.
16 in Modern Warfare 3.
I sense a theme.
14 in Black Ops 2. This is before DLC, by the way. This is the core game.
Right, yeah.
14 in Ghosts.
Okay.
13 in Advanced Warfare. 12 in Black Ops 3. 12 in Infinite Warfare.
And I believe that brings us back to today.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, that's the original. Where's? Oh, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. No, not even 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 10.
For
World War II. I had to scroll down and click something. Yes, so every Call of Duty since...
That includes the war-specific maps, right?
No, that's a separate mode with separate maps. I'm talking non-war mode. I'm talking deathmatch, kill confirm, domination, whatever. War mode has its own separate thing with its own separate maps.
Right. But if you take those into account, that's an extra, 3, 4?
3, but it's a different mode, so...
I know, I'm just I'll play the devil's advocate here, and because that's technically 13 maps...
I don't include
kind of on
that.
par. I'm just saying, technically, and I'm saying that with heavy air quotes.
Yeah. Well, it's just...
I didn't have quite as adverse the reaction to the majority of the modes as you. It just seems standard boilerplate stuff so far. Yes, the maps do seem a little bit small and clustered. But other than that, there's really only like 1 or 2 maps that I would say I absolutely do not like at all. That one map with the giant like cannon emplacement in the middle that's on top of like a hill and runs from one half of the map, one side of the map to the other. That's probably the one that I hate the most.
The one that's the Sniper's Paradise that Jeff Gerstmann hated as well.
I think that's the same one, but I don't remember.
Call of Duty World War II, going by my metrics, Call of Duty World War II is tied with Call of Duty 3 for the least amount of core on the disc multiplayer maps for the entire series. They're both at 10.
Okay. All right. Well,
literally the only reason I have this game on Xbox is to play with you guys. Because I'm supposed to be getting a digital copy on PS4 from somewhere. So I was going to play the campaign on that because since I played Ghost on PS4 and I have access to Infinite Warfare when I get through that campaign on PS4, I just want to do the campaigns on PS4. But I just...
Sure. And you told me before that it was just because you want the trophies.
Yes.
Like, okay. If you want the trophies all in the same spot, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, and now Sony lets you earn PlayStation or Sony reward points for getting trophies too.
Yep.
Just gotta sign up for the rewards program.
I'm already a member.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
Of course, there's some restrictions.
Of course.
Because you gotta earn, what was it, like 50 silver trophies for...
I haven't looked at the details, but...
It's like $2 or something. And like 25 golds for $2.50. And then like 10 platinums for $5 or something.
Yeah, see, the problem is I never get platinums, so...
It's something like that.
Yeah.
It's not exactly the best, but I mean, if you're playing through games anyway, it seems like it's okay. And it's not going to be something you're going to be able to suddenly go, I quit my day job and I'm just going to earn money through this. That's
just not happening.
No. But as little bonuses for playing through games, that might be worth it to some people.
Yeah.
The new thing that they added in is a new social space for multiplayer.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Which, as of this recording, is currently completely broken to the point where, well, they had to put everyone in their own separate space.
It is a bad attempt at Destiny.
Yeah, it kind of is.
/ Division.
Yeah, I guess a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. It's more Destiny, though.
It's way more Destiny because it's the only way to get into multiplayer matches is to load into this social space.
Yeah.
And then hit the start button and then go to the menu and select quick play.
Yeah. Because you need to see those loot boxes open on the beaches of Normandy, Steven.
Yes, I know. Because I absolutely need those commendations from other players to commend my box openings. So far, I've yet to find anything that's really worth it inside those boxes. It's all just been super minor cosmetic stuff so far.
Right, but if you go to the Quartermaster, though... all of those are in various sets, and once you have everything in a set, you get a super limited version of a weapon that has like some like double XP or whatever perk attached to it.
Yeah, that seems to be the only bonuses.
Yeah, and then you can buy the items that you're missing separately with the in-game credits or whatever they're called.
It's like armory credits or something.
Yeah. You earn those and you can buy the items you're missing in a group to finish out the group to get the weapon.
Yeah. And don't forget to log in every 3 hours or every 4 hours to get your 100 credits.
Whereas like the rarest things cost like 5,000 to unlock separately.
Yeah. And you really only earn those credits for completing daily contracts and daily missions and stuff, or getting duplicates from your boxes.
Yeah, and if you're super hardcore, you can spend the credits on a challenge that is limited to 10 or 20 minutes of gameplay.
Well, there's some that are limited to 40.
Oh, okay. All the ones I saw the other night were either 10 or 20. and they were way.
I've had a couple of them that are like 40 minutes for 100 kills.
Okay, yeah, but they're way beyond
130 kills.
Yeah, they're way beyond my skill level. So I
think I had one that's the 40 minutes for 100. Just because I thought, well, maybe it's possible for me to do. I think I'm like 35 kills in or something, and I have like a little over 25 minutes or something like that left. So it's possible, but not going to be easy. But yeah, I don't know. It's missing something. I don't think I'm going to play it for much longer, past the point where I finish the campaign.
Yeah.
Because I highly doubt I'm going to want to care about any of the DLC.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, we need to get going here. So, yeah. So the last game. Yeah, so the last game I played on Xbox, and this has been a while back, I played it for a couple hours with you and Scott, and that was Destiny 2.
Yes. The return of the space magic. Boy, oh boy. Where to even begin? There's so much that's different and changed.
Well,
I believe how long do I have?
Well, I mean, it's just we're almost we're a little shy of 2 hours right now, so we need to think about getting
through stuff as quick as possible.
Concise but informative, yes.
Okay,
informative but concise.
Most of the changes to the game are exactly the same changes that were in the demo that I talked about last episode. Things that are not the same is there's a mod system for weapons and armor now. Once you complete the campaign and acquire gear up to 280, it gives you access to ways to upgrade these mods if you have 3 of them, so that you can have a legendary mod. Now, legendary mods give you +5 to whatever gear you attach it to. So that could be weapons, armor, and each of those spots has different effects. So stuff that's for weapons can only be, it changes the element of the weapon from like fire to void, or shock to void, or shock to solar, something like that. And it gives it an extra 5 points of power, which is the new light level. But it functions exactly the same. For the gear, they went with a brand new system that's kind of similar to the first game, but not quite. You don't quite get the same cooldowns that you did for your abilities in the first game. It's much more regulated about how many cooldowns you can have on your abilities. I believe the maximum number of a single type of cooldown you can have is 2. And that takes it from, I think, like a minute 25 for, say, like a grenade, to about like a minute and 2 seconds. So it does take some time off of it, but not that much where you're desperately needing them. So while that's an odd step back it's a weird system. I'm not 100% in love with it, but there are ways that they could tweak it that could make it much better. Like, instead of having it just be a single mod for weapons and armor, maybe have a couple slots for mods, and have the mods do more things, like, say, reduce your recoil a little bit, for whatever weapon you put it on. Stuff like that. That could be fun. But as it stands, it's a little shallow. Overall, though, I've finished the full campaign twice over. I thought it was pretty fun. I've got a maximum power level Warlock, 305. I have a Titan that's 301. So I'm really close to having 2 complete full endgame characters. And my Hunter is just about at the end of the main campaign story missions. So I'm almost ready to have a 3rd endgame character. Because I played the game a lot. Mm-hmm. It's very fun. It's so much more fun than something like Call of Duty World War II. Because, man, is it fun to just jump, dash with a little bit of your ability energy for your jump ability, and take somebody by surprise by coming around a corner well above their head, aiming down on them and raining fiery bullets of death from whatever weapon you have to have equipped. It's just, there's something so snappy and fun about that game. The PvP, it's not quite the same because of, like I said, the cooldown reductions. You don't quite have the same amount of ability kickoff as you normally would, but it's still quite fun, even though they're making people focus more on your weaponry than your abilities. So it's still quite a bit of fun. For the armor itself, as I was mentioning, they did change some things to where instead of intellect, discipline, and strength, it's now mobility, armor, and recovery. Now, the 2 things you want to care about are recovery and armor in that order. You want to be able to recover your health as quick as possible, and you want to have enough armor that you can survive any damage that's incoming. But, of course, you definitively want to max out your recovery because you want your health back once they take it away. So that sort of limits your choices of armor because each type of armor is set into a category: mobile, heavy, and recovery. I think you can guess which one each specializes in. Mobility for mobility. And armor for heavy.
Armor. Yeah.
And recovery for recovery. So you can only get so much of each stat per armor piece based on what type of character you're playing. So warlocks are always going to be able to max out the recovery because they're the recovery specialists. Titans are going to get close, but they're going to focus a little bit more on their armor because they're the heavies. And hunters, they sort of get the short end of the stick because they're more stacked with mobility on their armor. Now, you'll notice I didn't say much about mobility because that only changes your side-to-side strafe movement.
Okay.
And your walk speed. It does not change your sprint speed. It does also make you jump higher, but that doesn't help you survive most of the time during the PvE encounters with the computer enemies. Now, in PvP, that can sometimes throw off somebody enough where you jump so high over them they can't quite track where you are.
Mm-hmm.
But for playing against just the computer, trying to kill mobs and stuff like that, it's lacking something. it's lacking a lot. So that's another thing they can look at and tweak over the next multiple months that this game is around. I did at one point play a very small amount of the raid. It seemed fun, but unfortunately the raid team that I was in just couldn't quite gel together to get everybody coordinated enough to get through one of the encounters that we were in. So unfortunately it just became too late at that point, so everybody disbanded and haven't really been back in there since. But I definitely want to play through and complete the raid because it seemed pretty fun. Yeah, the campaign mostly focuses on the Cabal and the fact that Gaul has, in the opening mission, stolen the light. So the entire campaign goes through, well, now you gotta go figure out what the heck to do about this, about Gaul taking your light and maybe get the light back. I won't say anything else.
Yeah, I'm kind of right past the, I did the opening thing from the beta.
Mm-hmm. You got to the first multiplayer area where you can invite people.
Yes.
So.
But I have not played since because I've been busy on PS4, as we talked about earlier.
I will say, like I said, I had fun with the campaign. It goes places. It does a lot of variety for what it is. You go to a lot of different locations. Yes, there's only 4 planets, but the way they use the planets is still quite fun. I will say Io, the final planet that unlocks, does get a little bit of the short end of the stick because it's kind of right near the end of the campaign, and the campaign's sort of on a roll at that point. Yeah. So you kind of want to just like, okay, let's go, let's finish, let's do this. So you're not spending quite as much time on Io as you would one of the other planets. Unfortunate, but they can do more with it, with some of the DLC and such. And they also do more of it with things like the adventure missions, which are a little bit more meaty side missions that tell some interesting stories most of the time. I would say they do some really fun stuff in those side missions. Yeah, that's kind of it.
Okay.
They announced the new DLC for December 5th.
Yep.
I wait with bated breath to find out what Osiris has in store for us.
Yep.
Because it's going to be Vex. So that's kind of it for Destiny 2 at the moment.
All right. Time for Nintendo?
I guess so.
All right. I'll start off on 3DS. I played a couple hours of Metroid Samus Returns.
Oh, cool.
This
is the remake, correct?
This is the remake of Metroid 2, Return of Samus from the original Game Boy.
It's so weird that they switched those words around for the remake.
Yeah. But if you wonder why they would do a cease and desist on something like AM2R, well, now, we knew at E3 when this was announced.
Yep.
And this is a very interesting, this is made by the people that did the Lords of Shadow games.
Right. Okay.
And it has added in a kind of a melee element to Samus's arsenal as well.
Yeah, it's like a melee counter ability or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like every time you're about to get attacked, you tap the button or something.
Yeah. As they're charging you, you hit that right before they hit you, and it knocks them back and stuns them, and it like doubles the damage you do to them.
Okay. So, how much you liking it?
It was a lot of fun what I played. Basically, the whole thing with that is you are trying to eliminate all the Metroids from SR388.
Yep, home planet of Metroids.
Yeah. So there's like 40-ish Metroids, so you have to, it adds in the map system and things from Super Metroid and stuff that weren't, and it's just a modernly playable version of that game because, that was always the game in the series that, showed its age so much because it was made for the original Game Boy and never had an official remake until now. So now you have all the features that would be in like your Super Metroids and stuff with your map and everything's slightly modified because they've added these new mechanics in. And they even showed off a boss stage during the Nintendo World Championships.
Okay.
They showed off, there's a section where you have to outrace this huge creature, and if it catches you, it's a one-hit kill. So
I don't remember if that's in the main game or not.
No, I don't think there's a lot of stuff that's that's new. So
right, yeah.
But if you're looking for a great Metroid experience because it's been a while, I mean this is a great game to put on your list.
Yep, it's on my list for Christmas.
Yep. Moving on to the Super Nintendo Classic because I had mine pre-ordered at the end of September.
Okay.
And I have the SNES Classic. Cool. And I put some time into a few games around that time. I played the requisite first level of Star Fox to unlock Star Fox 2, and I tried a run of Star Fox 2, and that game is interesting, and it's nice that it's fully available officially now.
Yeah, it had some interesting ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a rogue, not exactly a roguelike experience, but like a time-based, like you have so long to do stuff, and like the events that are unfolding in the galaxy are active.
Yeah, you only have like X number of minutes before Andros's forces will overrun this one planet.
Carnaria, the main homeworld. Yeah.
Right. I'm just
and then there
generalizing.
There are ships that go to attack it, and you have to decide, are you going to go fight those ships? Are you going to go try to take out a base? Are you going to try to take out an air courier? Are you going to try to take out the planetary missiles? You have the original version of the rival squad come to fight you. And then Andros has this pet dragon that comes to fight you. I mean, spoiler, but you see this dragon in the opening cutscene, so...
Weird.
Yeah.
They also included, 2 brand new characters for Star Fox's squad, I believe?
Yeah. Yeah, you pick your main character and your wingman, and that's who you have in the entire run. And when your main character dies, there's no, you don't restore your health between levels or anything. You have a constant thing of health. The only way that you can regain your health is by redocking at your main ship, but time will pass.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then if you die, you can choose to continue as your wingman, but, they're going to be at whatever health. And, then that's it. You don't get to go through all 6 characters. It is just, you have you and your wingman, and you either win or you don't.
Yep. It's definitely a very interesting game full of a lot of weird and really novel ideas, especially for the time.
Yeah. It's
really
not going
to... a shame that they couldn't put it out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they were just worried because it would have been a year after the PS1 launch, and
right.
It would also have been right as the N64 was launching, and they didn't want to take away from the N64.
That's what makes me think that maybe they should have decided, okay, well, maybe we can bump this up to an N64.
Well, I mean, they
could have upped the graphics a lot. They could have given it a little bit more room to breathe.
But they probably went with the smarter version, which was to essentially remake Star Fox 1 as Star Fox 64.
I guess, yeah. It just would have been very interesting direction to take the series.
Yeah.
A little bit more open-endedness.
Yep. And then the other games I played just the opening little bit of Super Mario RPG.
Okay.
The very opening section of Zelda Link to the Past. And the one I put the most time into, I put a few hours into it because I had not played it in years, because even though it's getting a kind of too late remake next year, it had not, previously had a remake. So the most time I put in was into Secret of Mana.
Okay.
Because I had
I've never
not
played it.
It is a great game, but I had not played it since I beat it 2 decades ago. So that was the one I concentrated the most time in. Oh, and I played like the very opening, like 15 minutes of Final Fantasy VI, but I stopped at the first save point. But Secret of Mana is what I put the most time into.
All right. Sure.
All right. So now, as I reach over, all right, let's see. Can I get this to actually do what it does in the commercials?
Well, I've got 3 games. Wait a minute. I'm hearing clicking.
It does not. Come on. Make the noise. Make the noise, damn it. There, it made the noise. I heard it.
You bought a Switch, didn't you?
Yep.
I should have known. I thought you were feeding me a slightly false lead with the starting your Zelda on Wii U.
Well, I do need to start. Well, I did need to start it. Now I just need to start it on.
But now you have it on, I'm guessing, Switch.
I don't own it on Switch yet.
Oh. Okay.
I did trade my Wii U copy in because I got $40 for it. But
right.
I have not gotten a Switch copy yet. The only game I have played on Switch is Fire Emblem Warriors, and Fire Emblem Warriors is what got me to get a Switch.
Oh. Okay.
Because I had the 3DS version pre-ordered and the collector's edition on Switch that I was going to split with someone.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to thinking about it, and I was like, I don't want to play this game on new 3DS and get a save file and have to restart eventually on Switch.
Okay.
So I gathered all of my bulk Magic commons and uncommons and all the rares I'd accumulated in the last 6 months of Magic playing. I took them to a local vendor, local store, and sold them for about $180. I mean, this is mostly bulk stuff. There was like a handful of stuff that was beyond bulk level. And took that $180 and put it towards a used Switch.
Oh, okay.
That after certain bonuses that shall remain unnamed, plus GameStop reward certificates, it only cost me $217 for a used Switch.
Yeah, no, that's a lot less than buying a new one, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it was in great shape. It was someone that bought it for Zelda and then traded it in.
Oh, wow.
I mean, obviously it's white now, and with my profile on there and everything. And I had the 3, and I had the collector's edition. Essentially, I canceled my 3DS version of Fire Emblem Warriors and put all that on the collector's edition on Switch and had that paid off. Yeah. Now, I do own a couple other games. The aforementioned Shadow of War that I traded in for $35. Mm-hmm. I put that towards Mario Odyssey. I have not played Mario Odyssey yet, but I do own it.
Oh, I'm hearing lots of good things.
And then I had also traded in my Mario Kart, and GameStop had a sale a couple weeks ago, and I got a used copy of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for $30.
Okay, yeah.
So I own that as well. And then I have a bunch of demos on here that I have not played yet.
You gonna give Splatoon 2 a shake, or no?
No. No.
Really? You're not gonna at least give it a shot?
No.
Seriously?
Seriously.
You just hate fun.
No, I gave that game a shot on the Wii U, and I'm just not playing.
I'm poking you, Calm.
I know.
I want you to try it, at least. That's all I ask, is just to try it.
Then Nintendo should put a demo out for it. Because I have downloaded every demo that is available on Switch. There's only 6, but I have all 6 of them.
All right. Well, isn't there? I guess if there's only 6, then I guess they wouldn't have put out any demos for the indie games.
Most of the demos that are available are for the indie games. I can tell you all 6 demos available. Because sure. Let's see here. Come on, get over here. Octopath Traveler, okay. the project, that JRPG.
Project Octopath, yeah.
Yeah. Disgaea 5.
Okay.
Blaster Master 0.
Okay.
Snipper Clips.
Oh, yeah, Snipper Clips.
Voez, VOEZ.
I don't know.
And Heroes of the Monkey Tavern.
Yep, no. I have no idea.
That is the 6 demos that are installed on this system, along with my 3 cartridge games and Hulu, which just came out today.
Yeah. Okay.
So I have put a lot of work into Fire Emblem Warriors. I'm about halfway through that game.
Wow.
I am liking it.
How Muso is this game?
It is very Muso. But here's the thing. Even the hardcore Muso people rate this as one of the best Warriors games ever, for the specific fact that you can order all your individual units. You can give orders to all of your different characters to go attack somewhere, to go defend somewhere.
Right, but doesn't that only take place before the battles start?
No, you can do it. You can do preliminary things before battle, but you can also do it during battle. All you gotta do is hit that plus button, which is the start button, and you can issue new orders. You can issue orders at any time.
Okay. And it still has the Fire Emblem weapon triangle?
Yes, still has the weapon triangle. Although, depending on, you can use some of your special moves and stuff to kind of brunt force your way through that, but it does help if you follow the triangle. Yeah. And Pegasus Knights still hate archers. Pegasus Knights, if they're anywhere near an archer, will just get owned.
Yeah.
There's also the choice of having permadeath or not.
Because of course.
Yeah.
That's apparently the one thing that they think is indicative of Fire Emblem.
Yeah. And I just love this game. Like, it is way better than Hyrule Warriors was. And this game is just great. The only disappointing thing in terms of the support, so it has the support system from Fire Emblem where 2 characters, because you can team up 2 characters and they can make little teams. They have like team combo specials, and they can also like take hits for you and stuff, like come block for you and things. Yeah. There's a support system where they, level up their support based on how much they do together. You do not see a cutscene until they get to support level A.
Huh. On
C and B, they just have generic lines that they say to each other that are the same for each character. And then once they get to A, a little cutscene plays out.
Okay. All right. So, any final thoughts on it? Anything?
If you play one or 2, Warriors games ever, I would suggest this and Hyrule Warriors. And if you're like, which of the 2, I would say Fire Emblem Warriors easily, no question.
All right.
It is the best Muso ever. It's one of only 2 that I will ever care about, but it is awesome.
Okay. I believe you. I will never play them, but I believe you.
And I mean, that's it for me. Like, I have these demos on here. I have Odyssey that I've not played yet, and I'm gonna put this guy into sleep mode. I don't have Pro Controller or anything yet. I have the Neon Joy-Cons that came with the system. I have yet to get a Pro Controller or anything.
Did you get a SD card?
I just ordered one. Best Buy had the 128 gigabyte cards on early Black Friday sale for $30.
Yeah, because you're gonna need it.
Well, if I eventually, yeah.
No, you're gonna need it, especially for patches.
Well, not if I buy cartridge-based games primarily. Outside, I mean, I'm not talking your in.
They still patch them.
Well, yeah, but I've not used that much memory on patches for the Nintendo games.
So far.
So far, yes.
But,
I mean, the Nintendo stuff. Nintendo knows how to compact their file sizes. I mean, they are almost, but they're not. They're almost Bethesda level.
Almost, but not quite.
Well, not quite, but like, okay, where's data management?
Anyway, I was just commenting because it doesn't really come with a lot of internal storage.
No, it does not. And I mean, there are certain third-party games you buy where it just flat out will not work unless you have, external storage, SD card storage. Like, I've used up 2.2 gigs of memory, and most of that's because of these demos I've downloaded.
Yeah.
I mean, all 3 of my cartridge games are patched, and I have 6 demos downloaded and Hulu, and that's 2.2 gigs. So.
Yeah, but still, that's not going to leave a lot left for for downloading anything in particular.
I have a 128 gig card coming, so I'm good.
Yeah, so now you're covered, yes.
Yes.
At least for a while.
Yeah.
All right, so I believe I have 3 games, 1 repeat.
Yep.
Well, no, 2 repeats. Yeah, 2 repeats.
Yeah,
that's right. So we'll start off with Overwatch because, well, it's Overwatch.
Yeah.
Just after our last episode was recorded, Ranked Season 5 was ending.
Mm-hmm.
And I was playing that final day. My skill ranking slid 150 that day. I lost so much SR from that. It was insane. I thought, well, this can't get any worse. And then I played the end of Season 6, where I lost 200 plus SR. All in one day. Oh, man, that was awful. So now we're in Season 7. Recently they switched it to 2 months per season.
Mm-hmm.
So this season will end at the end of December, I believe, yes. So just before New Year's, that'll be the end of the season. So hopefully I don't have a 250 SR slide then. I hope not. Alright, so a couple weeks ago, the Halloween event ended as well. They added a bunch of fun new skins for that. They brought back Junkenstein's Revenge. I believe they also expanded it with an endless mode as well, which allowed for 3 or 4 additional characters to be chosen. Because in Junkenstein's Revenge, you could only pick from McCree, Soldier 76, Anna, and Hanzo. And those are the only 4 that are allowed to be picked for that mode. In Endless mode, you get access to all of those, plus Zenyatta, Torbjorn, Genji, and who's the last one? Or maybe that was the last, but I think it was only maybe 3 extras. I swear there was another one, though. Well, either way. Those are definitely 3 that are in there. But yeah, it's just endless waves of robot zombies, which are called Zomnics. Because the robots in the Overwatch universe are called Omnics.
Yeah.
So, fun little play on that. During Junkenstein's Revenge, certain characters like Roadhog will appear, and Reaper, and you'll have to rush to kill them because they're trying to kill you, as opposed to destroying the door that you're defending, which only the Zomnics care about destroying the door. But eventually you get to the point where you're facing off against Junkenstein himself. And then, of course, because why not have everybody come back to life, Mercy makes an appearance in her witch costume as the Witch of the Wilds to resurrect everyone and ruin your day one more time. So, it was fun to play through. I did get my achievement for playing through on each of the characters through the normal mode. So I got that at least. I was able to unlock the Symmetra skin, which she was modeled after like a dragon, which was so damn awesome looking. So I was able to get that. I was able to get the Mercy Witch costume. I was able to get the Soldier Zombie costume. Unfortunately, I missed out on the Pumpkin Reaper from last year as well again, which makes me sad because that was one of my favorite Halloween skins from last year. So I have to wait till next Halloween to get those. But yeah. Still fun, still rocking some SR climbing. I'm still in gold. Just kind of low gold at the moment, that's all. So I gotta kind of climb my way back out of that. But that's kind of it for the fun and interesting things that have happened in Overwatch recently. I really hope I don't lose that much SR anymore. One day. It was awful. Alright, so last of the repeats. I played through and finished XCOM Enemy Within for backwards compatible on Xbox One. Woo! Man, that game gets rough at times.
Yeah.
I routed Exalt just before Destiny came out. I routed Exalt, and then I basically was right about at the end of the game, but I didn't know it at the time. Because I had just discovered psionic operatives that I had. And I went on a rescue mission to save a bunch of other psionically attuned people as well. So, of course, I added them all to my team. And boy, did they kick some butt. Then I encountered the fun and ridiculously powerful super alien that loves to control you.
Yep.
And boy, are they annoying. But boy, are they really outclassed by a sniper that can do double tap.
Yep.
Man, snipers are still so overpowered in the expansion. Even after the nerf that they received from the main game. But I lost so many good soldiers, though, on so many missions up to the points where I got to the final stuff. And then, during the final mission, I thought the game bugged out. Because I couldn't open the doors.
Oh,
continue
no.
on. Turns out, it's not exactly a bug, but unless you trigger all the enemies, you can't actually open the doors. So you have to trigger and kill all the enemies to actually advance. And I thought I had cleared both sides of the map that I was on.
Yeah.
To continue on. Apparently I was very, very wrong. So I had to go back with my best character, my sniper from, I think she was German. She was a German sniper.
Mm-hmm.
So I sent her back to trigger these last couple enemies, and lo and behold, after triggering them and killing them, boy, did there pop out a couple other enemies that I did not want to have suddenly next to me. So maybe I should have sent 2 people. I was able to just barely squeak out a, oh god, I'm in trouble win against them, but yeah. So, unfortunately, I did not get a couple of the really high point achievements, which I wanted, but I finished the game. I'm happy enough where I was able to leave everything. Humanity survived. We lived to fight again another day. So, hopefully, XCOM will prevail again in XCOM 2. When I eventually start playing that. What?
Well, I was just gonna say it's a great time to get it too, because it's been on sale digitally a couple times here. It's going to be on sale on Black Friday, so it's a great time to pick that up.
Yeah, especially because that expansion came out like a couple months ago.
Yeah, the expansion came out a couple months ago. Yep.
So now it's the perfect time to get the completed collection.
There's no way to buy everything together though. The expansion is a separate download purchase.
Okay. Good to note. All right. So that brings me to the one brand new game, although it's not actually brand new. It's been out for quite a few years.
Yeah,
I think.
A couple years.
At this point.
Let's put it like this. The sequel to it came out this week.
Oh, damn. Wow.
Yeah.
That's some interesting timing that I just started playing it this past week.
Yeah.
So I started playing Hand of Fate for Xbox One.
Yes. Underrated gem.
It definitely is a very interesting game.
Yeah.
The combat is extremely simplistic, though.
Yeah. It is a janky version of Batman.
Yes, I would definitely agree with that. It doesn't have quite the same tightness as a Batman-style combat.
The trailer for the new one looks much better.
I would definitely hope so, because that's one of the major things that could be improved was the combat itself. Load times are a bit longer than I'd like when you're loading into things like shops and different encounters and such. So that could also have been tightened up, hopefully for the sequel.
Yeah, I can't tell that from the trailer, but...
Right, yeah. But as a whole, I enjoy it. I do make a lot of rash decisions, which I shouldn't make.
And those of you on Xbox One may own this game, because it was a Games for Gold game a while back.
Yeah, a pretty long while back, I want to say.
Yeah, I bought it on sale on PlayStation. I actually bought it on PlayStation.
I think I got it when it was a Games with Gold.
I would imagine so.
I believe that was where I got it. But I also did buy the DLC. So I did give them a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't do that, but
I don't even remember what was in the DLC. I just remember, it's $5. Sure, why not?
Yeah, it's like a separate.
It includes a bunch of extra encounters.
Yeah,
that can get added in. I believe one of them is like a quest line for defeating a kraken. I think another one was for defeating like this mage cult, the White Council, I want to say. So each of those encounters, if you beat them, actually gives you a bunch of equipment that you can add to your deck. This is a card-based strategy / action adventure combat game. It's weird mishmash of things. It doesn't actually follow into one category of things. It's like a bunch of things all mashed together, and somehow they work, which is the miraculous part. It's primarily a card-based rogue-light adventure game in which you create a deck of equipment and equipables which get dealt to you at the beginning of the game, and the board is created out of cards that are different encounters, such as enemies, different scenarios, like, oh, you're passing a priest, and he's asking, do you have any food to offer for orphans that he's looking after? So you get the choice of, well, do I give him a little bit of my food supplies, or do I just say, well, I can't give you anything at the moment, and depending on what you do, it can offer you different rewards or different curses, which would negatively impact you.
And this is a roguelike game, so yes. As you progress down, there's like a game board, that there's like a storage area that opens up and shows your progression. There's like 20 some odd, or there's several stages, and as you complete a row of stages, your starting equipment will get better off.
I want to say it's 12 major final boss encounters.
Yeah, something like that. And
because I've completed 9 of them so far.
Yeah, you and I are at the same spot. We're on the last row.
Oh, you never finished it?
No, I never finished it.
Okay.
I'm actually, I think, at like the very last one. I'd have to boot it back
so yeah,
up.
You're a little bit ahead of me because I'm still on the very first final boss, the very first boss character in that final round.
Okay.
Queen of Scales, I want to say.
I think I've gotten past. I think I'm on the very, very last one, and it's really hard, and I didn't beat it. And this also, like the what stages and what cards are dealt differs each time.
Yes, because they're the dealer, the fortune teller.
Yeah.
Who deals out these encounters and talks to you the entire time. He's pretty chatty.
Yep.
But he has a pretty good voice actor to it, so it's actually fun to listen to him. He switches up and adds a bunch of extra things that you can only encounter during that one boss run.
Yeah.
So things like something called Lost in the Swamp is one of the banes of my existence at the moment. Where if you roll the dice wrong by choosing one of your success or failure cards in the wrong order, you can waste a lot of time, which wastes a lot of your food supplies, and that's bad because you only have so much food. So there's a lot of resource management based on, well, I've only got like 10 food supplies left, which means I have 10 moves before I'll start starving and taking health damage. So it's about resource management of how much gold I have, how much food I have, what kind of equipment I have to try and take on the final boss. Mm-hmm. And you have to slowly make your way around these encounters to try and find the exits to each of the layers, essentially, to get all the way down to the final board of dealt cards, which consists of the boss character somewhere in the face down bunch of cards.
Yep.
But it's very fun. But like we said, it's a little bit on the janky side. Yeah. So you gotta sort of be willing to take in a little bit of the jank to roll with it.
Do you want to know the setup for the second game?
Sure. Why not?
So the second game, so your character from the first game has taken over and is the new, is kind of, your character from the first game has grown evil from their newfound power.
Oh.
In the original dealer, you play as a new character, and you and the original dealer are now teaming up. He's still dealing out the cards, but now you're looking to be his instrument of revenge to take down the character from the original game.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah. The sequel has an interesting hook to it.
Well, as the old adage goes, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yep. But yeah, check out this game. It looks like right now, I don't know about Xbox, but it looks like right now on PlayStation and GOG, and I'm sure Steam as well, they're offering it at 10% off for the first 2 weeks. Now that's $27 instead of $30, but
right. Yeah.
But if you're interested in it, like I said, the sequel literally came out on Tuesday. So
yeah, that's completely coincidental timing. I'm just like, because it's been staring at me every time I open my games section of my Xbox. I'm like,
and I talked about it a long time ago.
Yeah, I kind of want to play this, and it doesn't seem like it's going to take that long to get through. Because, like I said, I only started playing it like a week ago.
Yeah.
So, but as the time progressed and my skill through the game was growing, it's getting a little bit better, a little bit easier to be able to come through and consistently get to certain spots in the dungeon, quote unquote.
Yep.
So I should be able to finish off this final row.
Okay.
Hopefully soon.
Yep.
And then I can move on to another game.
Yep.
Perhaps an open world game that mayhaps you sent me a code for. Or a season pass, as it were. That game. The one you sent me the season pass for. Did I?
Oh, right. Yeah. Did that work?
I don't know yet. I gotta try it out later.
Okay.
I'll try it out as soon as we're done here. But that's pretty much it for me. I believe I covered everything.
Yep.
Yeah. Because the majority of my last couple months here has been Destiny. Day in and day out. Making my characters are max level.
Yeah, mine was tied up with PlayStation and Nintendo, so.
Yeah. Alright, so that's, I think, gonna do it for this episode, unless you have any final thoughts.
Nope.
Alright, so that'll do it. Don't forget to subscribe to the show through iTunes or the Apple Podcasts or something now.
It's the
change that
app.
I don't know what's going on.
It's there's the podcast app on iOS, so it's all through that. Or you can do Stitcher Radio.
Yep. You can also get us on your smartphones with Stitcher Radio. Because, hey, sometimes you want to listen to a podcast when you're on the go.
Or you have an Android.
Or anywhere you get your RSS feeds from.
Yes.
You can also like us on Facebook. And you can follow us also on Twitter as well. Facebook is 2 words, Checkmate Arcade. On Twitter, it's at Checkmate Arcade with no spaces or underscores or anything. And if you want to follow us individually, it's at darkbossman for me.
At MSU Hitman for me.
Okay. And I think that's all our wrap up, I believe. So I have been reacquiring my space magic. My name is Stephen Boss, the Dark Boss Man.
And I my poor HD DVDs. It's the end of an era, because not only did I have to take down the player, I'm having to take the discs out of the stand to make room for more Blu-rays. So it is the end of the HD DVD era for me. I'm MSU Hitman.
And I would play a trumpet to send it off, but I don't know how quality that would sound on the audio at the moment.
And it's 10 years too late, so.
Yeah. Also, there's that. So we'll see you on live PSN and maybe even on the net.
Peace out, everybody.